The little girl stood alone beside a busy roadside park in the bright afternoon sun, clutching a worn teddy bear and staring at the passing cars with frightened eyes. She couldn't have been more than 6 years old. No parent was nearby. No one seemed to be looking for her. And as the crowd moved around her without noticing, one exhausted single father made a decision that would change his life forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with your friends, and subscribe to Heartwarming Tales for more emotional and inspiring stories. Ethan Mercer had been raising his 8-year-old son Noah alone for nearly 5 years. Life had not been easy. He worked long hours as a delivery driver in a small city, often struggling to pay rent and keep food on the table. Every dollar mattered. Every day felt like a battle. Yet despite the hardships, Ethan never allowed bitterness to take root in his heart. He taught Noah to be kind, honest, and compassionate, even when life seemed unfair. That afternoon, Ethan and Noah were returning home after grocery shopping when they noticed the little girl sitting alone near the park entrance. While other people hurried past, Ethan felt something wasn't right. The child looked scared and lost. Her small hands trembled as she hugged her teddy bear tightly. When Ethan approached her gently, he discovered her name was Ava. She seemed confused and couldn't explain where her family was. She only remembered being in a large city several hours away before somehow becoming separated from the adults she was traveling with. Concerned for her safety, Ethan immediately contacted local authorities. While officers worked to locate her family, they asked if Ethan could temporarily care for Ava until further arrangements were made. The shelters nearby were overcrowded, and the frightened child seemed to trust Ethan and Noah. For the next several days, Ava stayed with them. Their apartment was tiny and far from luxurious. The paint was peeling in places. The furniture was old. But for the first time since she had arrived, Ava smiled. She laughed while playing board games with Noah. She helped Ethan make simple dinners. She even began sleeping peacefully through the night. The little apartment slowly filled with warmth and happiness. Ethan found himself growing attached to the child. Despite everything she had been through, Ava remained cheerful and polite. Noah treated her like a little sister, sharing his toys and protecting her whenever she felt nervous. But behind Ava's bright smile was a mystery. No one could locate her family. Days turned into weeks. Authorities continued searching, but every lead ended in disappointment. Ava's records seemed strangely incomplete. Even the information she remembered about her past didn't fully match any missing child reports. The mystery deepened with each passing day. Then one bright morning, everything changed. A line of expensive black vehicles pulled into the parking lot outside Ethan's apartment building. Neighbors watched from windows as security personnel stepped out. Moments later, a sophisticated woman dressed in an elegant light blue suit emerged from the center vehicle. She looked powerful, successful, and completely out of place in the modest neighborhood. The woman introduced herself as Victoria Sterling, one of the wealthiest business leaders in the country. And she was looking for Ava. The moment Victoria saw the little girl, tears filled her eyes. Ava ran toward her without hesitation. The emotional reunion left everyone speechless. Ethan expected the story to end there. He believed Ava would return home with her mother, and life would continue as before. But Victoria had not come only to reclaim her daughter. She had come to reveal a shocking truth. Inside Ethan's apartment, Victoria explained that Ava's disappearance had triggered one of the largest private search operations in recent memory. Hundreds of investigators had spent months searching across multiple cities. But that wasn't the shocking part. Victoria revealed that years earlier, before becoming one of the nation's most successful entrepreneurs, she had faced a difficult period in her life. During that time, she had briefly volunteered at a community center where struggling families received assistance. There, she had met a young man named Ethan Mercer. At first, Ethan couldn't understand why the name sounded familiar. Then Victoria showed him an old photograph. His eyes widened. More than a decade earlier, Ethan had unknowingly helped Victoria during one of the darkest moments of her life. She had been overwhelmed, struggling financially, and considering giving up on her dreams. One afternoon, after finding her crying outside the community center, Ethan had offered encouragement, shared his lunch, and reminded her that difficult circumstances didn't define a person's future. To Ethan, it had been a small act of kindness. He barely remembered it. To Victoria, it had changed everything. She never forgot the stranger who showed compassion when she needed it most. As her business empire grew and her success expanded, she often wondered what had happened to the young man who had inspired her to keep going. Now fate had unexpectedly brought them together again. And this time, Ethan had saved the person she loved most in the world. Victoria's voice trembled as she thanked him. She explained that no amount of money could repay what he had done for Ava. But she wanted to help the family that had shown such extraordinary kindness. Over the following weeks, remarkable changes began to unfold. Victoria established a college fund for Noah and Ava. She helped Ethan purchase a comfortable home close to good schools. More importantly, she offered him a leadership position within one of her charitable organizations, knowing his compassion and integrity would make a difference in countless lives. Yet the greatest reward wasn't financial. A genuine friendship formed between the two families. Ava continued visiting Ethan and Noah regularly. Birthdays, holidays, and special occasions were celebrated together. What began as a frightening accident evolved into a lifelong bond built on gratitude, kindness, and love. For Ethan, the experience reinforced something he had always believed. The smallest acts of kindness often create the biggest changes. The lunch he shared years ago had seemed insignificant. Stopping to help a lost little girl had felt like the obvious thing to do. Yet both actions had transformed lives in ways he never could have imagined. Years later, whenever people asked Victoria about the secret behind her success, she often shared a simple lesson. Success may build wealth, but kindness builds destinies. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to Heartwarming Tales for more uplifting stories. Special request, comment below with the word kindness if you believe even a small good deed can change someone's life forever. As the sun set over the neighborhood that evening, Ethan watched Noah and Ava laughing together in the front yard of their new home. The sound filled the air with joy. In that moment, he realized something extraordinary. He had never been rich. He had never been powerful. But through simple acts of compassion, he had become part of a story that would inspire generations. And sometimes, that is the greatest treasure of all.